What golden nugget of information do you have to share? A scorpion can hold its breath for 6 days, so don't think drowning it will help you out of your scorpion problem. Even if you aren't willing to give mouth-to-mouth on an unconscious person, chest compressions alone greatly increase their odds of survival. If bees were paid the minimum wage, a jar of honey would cost about $200,000. For a garment to be labeled Made in USA, the process only needs to be started and finished in America. In the case of a certain ladies' underwear line, the material is cut in USA, shipped overseas for assembly, then shipped back to America where a seamstress sews a Made in USA tag on the item. Source: underwear factory worker. Semen washes off best with cool water. Using hot water can cause the proteins to denature and makes it stickier. A moose can run 40 miles per hour through 6-foot deep snow. The first president of Zimbabwe was President Banana. It was also illegal to joke about his name in Zimbabwe, so the foreign press used to joke about his name more. When choking on food and can't get help, you can get into a push-up position and then just drop down. The ground hitting your stomach and chest will cause what you're choking on to dislodge. I had a heart transplant 5 years ago. When your heart is replaced, the surgeon has to cut the main nerve that gets the signal from the brain to beat and/or increase the intensity of the beat. Without this vagus nerve, your new heart has no regulation and pumps blood out of habit. You no longer have a fight or flight response, and your new heart beats at 90+ beats a minute. The main reason we stop doing something we love is because we forget our love of doing it for enjoyment's sake and replace it with the desire to be good at it. There are about 60,000 characters in the Mandarin language. A very literate person will know 20,000. The average person from 5,000 to 10,000. If uneducated, around 3,000. Horses have a massive blind spot on the front and back of their body. If you are ever around a tame horse, keep a hand on their body while walking around them. This lets it know where you are at all times, and decreases chances of kicking out of shock or fear. This also prevents them from kicking you with as much force. You need to stay very close to them for the full benefit. This is similar with goats, as they instinctively fight things coming head-on and should be approached from the sides. Also, ears are the gateway to a horse's feelings. Pinned back ears indicates an anxious or angered horse. Pinned straight up indicates curiosity and focus. Artillery was responsible for over 70% of combat casualties in both world wars. The Earth wobbles really slowly like a spinning top. It takes about 26,000 years to come full circle. In the process, the northern star changes. This is called precession. If you see a job you really want but aren't quite qualified for, apply anyway. Don't tell yourself no. Make them tell you no. You might be pleasantly surprised. Both my son and daughter followed this advice and got a job that turned into a career. Airline operations guy here. If you check in a bag at an airport with an hour or less before departure, it has a 50-50 shot of making it on the plane. Just like the TSA line, bag security can back up too. I regularly see 30+ minute in-screening statuses on bags. Then, it may be pulled for a hand screening and search. This is random and TSA doesn't care when the flight leaves. So now we are at about 25 minutes to departure, and your bag has only just now entered the sort system. It will take another 5-10 minutes to sort out to the person who loads carts with bags. Here, the problem is that there may be 7-10 other flights coming off of the same conveyor belt. They have to see your bags tag out of maybe 50 other bags, so let's assume another 5 minutes. Your flight's bag cart was delivered plainside at an hour before departure. It is now 15 minutes to departure. The bag room has seen your bag and has it on the back of a tug racing to the plane. 7 minutes before departure, the baggage compartments are closed and total weights are being submitted. Your bag has missed the airplane. Please check in more than an hour before your flight if checking a bag, or else it might not make it on the plane. All colors of Fruit Loops have the same flavor. Also true for Play-Doh. If you carry a baseball bat in your vehicle for self-defense, also carry a baseball glove. Even if you don't play baseball, your lawyer will appreciate it. If you ever have a baseball bat and need to use it as a weapon, put a sock over it, so if someone tries to disarm you, they just slide off the sock. The gray rock treatment is an incredibly useful method of dealing with narcissists and toxic people. If such a person is going at you verbally or behaviorally, screaming or posturing or trying to fight, become like a gray rock in a river. No reaction, don't answer, no movement. Just sit calmly and let the stream of crazy flow past you. Bonus points if you can stare blankly. When people thrive on causing a reaction, they absolutely cannot compute when they get no reaction. If you're in physical danger, Obviously react to keep yourself safe, but don't argue, explain, or defend verbally. You'll never change a narcissist's mind. It's just walking on a treadmill. Obviously not foolproof. Keep yourself safe first and foremost. People often underestimate how big a billion actually is. An easy way to conceptualize it is to think of it in terms of seconds. 1 million seconds ago was 12 days ago. 1 billion seconds ago was 1987. The tensing of leg muscles will deflate an unwanted erection. On the timeline of human history, the ancient Egyptians lived as close to the ancient Romans as the ancient Romans lived to us today. A single spaghetti noodle is called a spaghetto. The human anus can stretch up to 7 inches before taking damage. A raccoon can squeeze into holes as tight as 4 inches, meaning you can take almost 2 full raccoons up your anus. A 30 minutes walk every day decreases the percent of you getting dementia. Newly registered nurse working on a hematology ward and learned that stem cells smell like sweet corn. Even though you have a VPN, it doesn't necessarily keep you hidden if skilled people wanted to find you. There are many things that can leak your IP that you have to isolate and fix, such as IPv6 leaks, DNS leaks, and WebRTC leaks. Also, every add-on you add to your browser, it gives you a unique fingerprint that can lead back to you. You're not as secure as you think. If you're in the woods and smell cucumbers, there is a copperhead snake nest nearby. Heat the back of a spoon gently and press it on a mosquito bite for a few seconds to greatly reduce itching. The heat breaks up the protein in the venom. X% of Y is the same as Y% of X. So if you're struggling to find 26% of 50, maybe 50% of 26, 13, is much easier to do quickly. Armadillos give birth to 4 identical twins always. Peanuts are not nuts. They're legumes, and they grow out of the ground like potatoes. Nuts and drupes typically grow on trees, and/or are the seeds of fruits. You can be allergic to tree nuts and not be to peanuts, and vice versa. If you don't have a toilet plunger and you've clogged it up, pour in a bit of dish soap and some hot water. The hotter, the better. Let it stand for 15 minutes, and then flush. I learned this trick when my 8-year-old clogged up our hotel toilet right after we arrived. I searched on Google and found this gem. Luckily, I had packed a small travel bottle of dish soap, so I heated up some water in the microwave, followed the instructions, and lo and behold, it worked. I still use this method at home sometimes when I don't want to deal with the unpleasantness of plunging. Yes, my child has a tendency to clog toilets, so there you go. That a strong sense of doom is a medically recognized and majority common precursor to having a heart attack. The concept of 3 square meals a day was a diet designed for people working physical labor in the early 1900s. The quality of the diet and sticking to daily calorie limits are the only parts that really matter. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter what time you eat, although the 3 square meals model is indeed advantageous for maintaining energy levels throughout the day. Basically, it's better to eat when you're hungry, rather than force yourself to eat when you should, as long as you're getting the proper nutrients, etc. Canadians say sorry so much that an act passed in 2009 states that an apology would not be considered an admission of guilt. Domestic adult cats don't meow to communicate with other cats. They use meows almost exclusively to communicate with humans. Smells are particulate. When you smell anything, you are getting particles of that thing in your nose. That doesn't seem so bad to think of microscopic cake particles in your sinuses when you smell it baking. But when you smell a fart or the stench of a public bathroom, microscopic poop particles in your sinuses. Nasty. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on the latest, super interesting discussions.